Hi, how are you doing? Good to meet you. Great.
Again, with negotiations haven't even begun, I think it's very premature to be pointing to red lines at the moment. Well, the Brexit process to date has demonstrated that if the interlocutors who are involved in it continue to be imaginative, continue to show goodwill, that agreement is always possible. And this is a defining feature of where we are now, that the UK is leaving the European Union in an orderly way. So as I look at what is due to come across 2020, I do believe that it is possible to gain agreement. I do believe it is possible to reach agreement in relation to a future trading relationship. But equally, I'd have to acknowledge that the deadlines and timings for doing it are incredibly demanding. And to aim to get all this done by 2020 would be a timeline that is nearly without precedent, but the one precedent that is there is what has now been achieved. Understandable that those in the UK would look to prioritise the interests of their fishermen, but equally. And one of the really critical things that will need to be explored in the negotiations that are yet to commence is if the United Kingdom does want a very close economic trading relationship with the UK, with the European Union, the degree to which that is consistent with the ability to diverge. Because from the point of view of the European Union, a key dimension of the single market is anybody who's in the single market or anybody who's trading with the single market is doing so on the basis of a commonly agreed rulebook. Are very important from a United Kingdom point of view to gain agreement and compromise on. And access to the waters around the United Kingdom is, despite all of the challenges that Brexit has generated to date for European economies, the impact it may have had on the global economy, our own economy has continued to grow strongly across that period. Our domestic economy in particular now is in quite a strong place, offsetting to a degree the moderating influences that are developing externally. And while I have no doubt that a hard Brexit occurring at the end of the transitionary period would have a very challenging effect on Irish economic performance, I'm equally of the view that because of all of the work that has gone on to strengthen our economy, all of the work that has happened to improve our national finances, that we are positioned to be able to work our way through any future challenge. Is if the United Kingdom does want a very close economic trading relationship with the UK, with the European Union,
nothing's agreed until everything is agreed.
I think we will be, from a European point of view, of course it's understandable that those in the UK would look to prioritise the interests of their fishermen, but equally from a European point of view we will be looking to protect and secure European fishing interests. And I would expect that one of the early areas for engagement in the negotiations that will be commencing soon will be the area of fisheries. Well, there will be no border checks between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, and that will not be happening. And we have spent 3 years. I think we will be, from a European point of view, eager to get agreement on the overall design of where we are going. But again, at this point, given that negotiations haven't even begun, I think it's helpful and probably important to make clear that both sides want to get agreement here. I know from a European point of view, we do want to see agreement at the end of this process. But to emphasise that the time frame for doing all of this at the moment is incredibly demanding.
Oh, no.